So today we're going to look at a line that I think is a little bit underestimated, and it's got some really cool figures.
Prepare to experience the revenge of the Sith. It is your destiny.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to my channel, Manda number 5, and I'm Keith Guppy. So today we're going to look at the line of figures that were released with the Revenge of the Sith back in 2005. There were 75 basic figures in a line, and they had the Darth Vader outline on the back of the card, obviously the figure, the lava, Mustafar sort of reflection theme going on throughout the line. That's prominent as well, isn't it, in the vehicles. And on the back of the cards, they had about a dozen or so figures that you can also get in the line, a picture and a little description of the figure. Obviously, this is Commander Gree. As I said, there's about 75 figures in the line, so quite a big line actually. But what made that line really interesting is where they're focused on some particular themes. They went a little bit mad on Kashyyyk and Wookiees. They went a little bit mad on hologram figures, which I'll show you later on. But they did bring up some really, really cool exclusives, which I think are probably the highlight of the line. But as usual, hang on to right to the end and I'll give you the value of the whole line and show you how much I need to spend to complete it. So I just want to thank everyone again for watching and taking the time to comment and make your points heard. I'm going to continue with this sort of line and focusing on the different figure lines. But please, if you want changes or anything done differently, then don't be afraid to shout out and tell me. I've got thick skin, so I want the feedback as much as I can. So thanks again, and please subscribe. So the first figures that came out were they did 4 sneak preview figures. Now I'm not going to talk about sneak preview figures in any detail, but I wanted to show you a little bit of focus they did. Obviously during the film you had the battle with Kashyyyk, and if you want your Wookiees, this is the series to go to. So they produced 6 Wookiees in the Sith line, Revenge of the Sith line. They started with the Wookiee warrior here. And these are heavy, chunky figures. This was great. So this is the first one. This came out of sneak peek. Some really cool figures. That's the other sneak peek figures, and they also did one of the Starfighters as a bit of a sneak peek. But yeah, they started out with a Wookiee warrior, and then they went on to they had a Wookiee heavy gunner, so a bit of a podgy chap with blast attack. But these are all completely different figures, real unique figures. Then they did a Wookiee warrior, and this is the light brown version. And then they produced the same figure again, but in a dark brown version. So if you're into your army building, then you'd want one of each. Yeah, they have got different guns and stuff, but they're basically the same figure. Just well, no, actually, no, they're not. They're called the same thing. They both say Wookiee warrior, but they are actually slightly different if you look. One's got a skirt, one hasn't. So yeah, so that's 2 completely different figures there. And then finally they did the leader of the Wookiees, which was Tarful. Another really cool. These figures are really quite heavy. I think underrated in terms. But if you want your Kashyyyk battle, and this is the line to get your figures on. And then there was also a Chewbacca in the line, obviously. So that was 6 Wookiees. They also went to town a little bit on holograph figures. I've got 3 here. I think there's about probably 5 or 6 they did. This is Ayla Secura in a holographic sort of pose. And they also did Plo Koon again, just as like a statue figure and a holographic figure. And then they also did, which at the time I remember is quite a sought after figure. They did the holographic Yoda Toys R Us exclusive, which is a slightly different colour than the others. And this was, at the time, this has obviously got a different background because this is an exclusive. So it's just Yoda, which is quite cool. But yeah, the Toys R Us exclusive one was at the time quite in demand. I think I got it graded somewhere. Yeah, so they did sort of focus on certain figures to the line, but I think that's a bit of the attraction to the line for me. So all the line didn't have a lot of expensive figures. I wanted to show you some of the what we call the honourable mentions and some of the really nice figures that I think are in the line, and then we'll move on to the top 5 expensive figures. So this one caught my eye. This is Cat Min, one of the separatists who moved to Mustafar, but a really cool figure. Sorry about the glare as usual, but yeah, a really cool figure that exclusive to this line. Although you might be able to get it in one of the triple packs, I'm not sure, but yeah, cool figure. But another one I really like is this one. This is one of the Mustafar Sentries. It's like a flea type figure, which is really, really cool, and definitely only exclusive with the Revenge of the Sith line. So let me move on to top 5. And as I said, there's not really a lot of choice. I mean, the top 5 that I'm going to show you today are all worth, I don't know, 40 quid, 35 quid, and they really centre around some of the clone commanders of the time, which are a little bit unique. So they did 2 versions of this clone commander, no name on him, just a clone commander. They both had the red packaging, the red figure with the packaging, but this one's the green version. So they did the green version. Again, these are about 35 quid. Then they did a red version, which obviously went with the picture on it. There you go there. Exactly the same backs. There. Then they did a couple General Grievuses, and this one is the full-bladed lightsaber attack, which was quite popular in the line. Yeah, so again, 30-40 quid. Then they did Commander Bly, which is really the same as the other clone commanders. This one's graded. This is graded U85. Probably one of my favourite figures. I think he did a slight variation with this one, something on the colouring, but it's just basically the same as the others, but painted sort of a mustardy yellow colour. That's the graded one. And then I guess probably the most expensive figure, or the one that's probably in the most demand, is this double pack, which shows Anakin Skywalker after he's turned to the dark side, and then you've got the battle damaged Mustafar one where he's been burnt to a cinder, which again is a very unique figure in there actually, and that's graded 85 AFA, but you get 2 figures in that pack, so that's really probably my favourite actually, when you think about it. And then on top of that, they did produce some really cool exclusives. And a lot of them are from Target. This is a Target exclusive. So this is called Lava Reflection. They did 3 figures in this line. They did an Anakin, an Obi-Wan, and then a Darth Vader. And it's kind of got a slight redness on it, on the packaging, on the figure. And that's the version before it's been graded, and which says exclusive collector's edition, one of 50,000. Now 50,000 still sounds a hell of a lot of figures to me, but it was kind of an exclusive. So that was pretty cool. Then we moved on to another exclusive, the Utapu Shadow Trooper. So these are the guys that found General Grievous on Utapu, I believe. This is a Target exclusive again, but at the time a pretty damn cool figure. And a different background. On the exclusive they got basically a picture of the figure. This is still in the clamshell, and they had the Mustafar sort of background on the edges as well. And then you get to the one I showed at the start of the video, which was the Celebration Free Darth Vader. Really cool figure. Press the button, you've got lots of different sounds. I'll do a couple for you.
Welcome to Star Wars Celebration 3. Never will you find a more wretched hive of scum and villainy. Your journey to the dark side is now complete. Prepare to experience the revenge of the Sith.
Yeah, so
Your destiny.
still going. Yeah, I thought that was a pretty cool figure I found. Yeah, and then probably the absolute most expensive figure you can get in the line is this press kit. Now, I'm not sure how many of these were handed out. Really cool looking kit. I mean, there's a press kit here. There's another one in the trilogy collection, which I gifted to Tim at Boss Bounty a little while ago, but they did 2 press kits. These are quite rare. Now, this one, when you open it up, so you've got the Anakin on the front, and when you open it up, it should flip round to Darth Vader. Now, much to my disappointment, my Darth Vader has come away from the elastic bands inside on the back. So when I open it like this, it sort of just sticks, but there is a Darth Vader. So what you're supposed to do is open this up. It's really cool inside, and then Darth Vader would flip round on here. There should be also should be a press pamphlet in here, which holds the press update. But yeah, a real nice box set. I was going to get this graded, but now that elastic bands are broken, I probably won't bother. But this here, I'll post. I'm trying to find a value of this, and you could argue it's worth 200 quid. You could argue it's worth 1,500 quid. I really don't know how many there are. But I found one on eBay that's for silly money. I don't think that's the proper price of these. But if anyone knows or anyone's got one or a good condition one, then let me know. But I'd like to have one graded, if I'm honest. But yeah, so although the line wasn't that great, they did produce some really, really cool exclusive figures from the line. This line was also quite popular for little variants, and I'll show you the ones I know about, but please in the comments, if you know of any more that I don't know of, then please let me know. I've covered Commander Bly, but you also had Palpatine, who came out first of all in a blue lightsaber, which is a little bit odd, and then they did a running change and they brought out him in the red saber version. So that's one of the variants I've got here. The next one was they brought out Anakin Skywalker with 2 lightsabers, obviously the blue and the red. And the red one had his hand on it, so you could just change him around. But the running change they made was they brought out him later on with Count Dooku's lightsaber, which is accurate because obviously he killed him. He sliced his head off of both the lightsabers. So they changed it to Count Dooku's lightsaber as a running change. And the last one that I want to raise with you is the Anakin slashing attack. So you had Anakin, and he turned to the dark side, so he's got a little bit of yellow in his eyes, if you can see, and a bit of a scar. But they then brought him out in the Star Wars Paris Reunion exclusive box, which is in itself is quite nice. It's all in French on the back because this is Paris, obviously. But the figure inside is got completely different eyes, and I'll take some stills and put them on, but you can see they're much sort of darker, reddy eyes. The scars are more apparent on his face. Yeah, so that was a bit of an exclusive they brought out as well. As I said before, the exclusive of this line are pretty good. But yeah, he just sits in there, and he's basically the same figure. The card back's the same as well. So yeah, there are a few of the variants, but like I said, if you know of any more, let me know. So in terms of what I've got missing from the line, I've got all the single figures. I've got most of the ships. So there's only a few that I haven't got. One of the things, or a few of the things I haven't got, are all the cups. Now they brought out these sort of kiddies cups with a little cartoon picture on them, and then the figure. And they did this on a few of the lines, a few of the earlier lines as well. The blue cardback lines, they did them on. With this line, I think they brought out about 10. Some were the Clone Wars and some were sort of legacy figures. There you go. On the back of here, there's a couple more. There's a Clone Trooper, an Obi-Wan. I've got, I think, only got 2 of these, Grievous and a Clone. I'm missing things like Boba Fett. I think he did one in Han Solo, Yoda. But I'm missing these. I'll put a few pictures of the ones I'm missing up. So that's one of the things I'm missing from the line to complete the line. They brought out a number of deluxe type figures with vehicles. So here you've got the AT-RT with AT-RT driver. But what they did, they brought them out with bonus figures. So I've got all of these apart from the one that comes with a bonus clone. And I'll put a picture of that up. So I haven't got that. And then they also brought out a number of 3-pack clones. This is the one with the green variant. There was one as well with a red variant in it. But the one I haven't got has got a blue back to it. I haven't got that. And then I guess the only other thing I haven't got is the bonus pack. So with the ARC 170 fighter and the Mustafar playset, they did a really cool triple pack.
Sorry, I meant bonus figures, not triple pack.
I haven't got either of those. And those those two, that vehicle and that playset, are probably the most expensive things in the line. But moving on to the ships and vehicles of the line. Now, these are pretty cool. There weren't many of them actually compared with some of the other lines. We had the standard Obi-Wan and Anakin's starfighters that came out. Now this was a Toys R Us exclusive because this was in a clear packaging with the figure. So at the time, again, that was quite sought after in terms of ships. And then there's a picture on the back, pretty standard picture really. But I love this because you could actually see the whole ship, and it was nicely presented. And then apart from the Mustafar playset seat and the Arc Fighter, the Republic gunship is the most sought after vehicle in the line. These are probably somewhere around 200 quid, 250 quid to buy now. This is obviously a sealed version, really quite nice box. On the back, it's a green version. I'm not going to go into all the versions of this. You've probably seen other videos. There's probably 6 or 7 versions. I like this one. This really pops. It's green on the gunship. But same as the episode 1 one basically. But yeah, really nice. Real sort of Mustafar scene with the troopers, the glow off the Mustafar, lava beds. Really nice ship. But I'm lucky enough to have most of them apart from those bonus ones, as I said. So finally, let's look at how much this line will actually cost you if you have to buy it, and how much money you're going to have to spend to get it. So yeah, there was 77 figures in the basic line, and again, I've gone through eBay meticulously, and yeah, for those 77 figures, you'd have to spend £546.70, which actually for 77 figures is probably the lowest average figure value that I've done so far in this series of videos, and that works at just £7.10p a figure. And then if you look at the deluxe figures, the cups I've shown you, they did some battle packs, they did some evolutions, and I've got all those, and a couple battle arenas, and there was 44 of those, and you'd have to spend about 1,200 quid to get all 44 of those, which comes to £27.27p each for those. And then finally you move on to the vehicles, and if you add in the bonus Mustafar and Arc 70 sets, that raises the price quite considerably. So for those 15 vehicles, you're looking at an average of £71.20, which gives you £1,068 for the vehicles. So for the overall line, that gives you a total of £2,815. And then if you add in the exclusives, which we covered, I think you've probably got to spend around about £3,000 to get the whole line, which again, for a line of 70 plus figures, I think is pretty reasonable. It's a lot less than some of the other lines, put it that way. And then just to finally say what I need a couple bonus sets, which I've said, and a couple deluxe, and a few cups, which I think probably cost me about 400 quid to finish the line. So there you go. That's the end of episode 4 of my figure focus line. I hope you've enjoyed it. I'll see you back soon.